This is Stock Day. News and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on the OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest. He is the president and CEO of Lomiko Metals. It's Mr. Paul Gill. Paul, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Everett. Thanks for having me on.
You know, tell my listeners a little bit of background of yourself and your company and what you guys are all about and the impact you're making on the environment also.
Sure. Lomiko was started as a company that was invested in discovering and processing green minerals for the new economy. So we're specifically focused on finding minerals that are used in electric vehicles. That's copper, graphite, lithium. Those are our main sources of the raw products that we think will have a significant impact upon the economy, especially the green economy, meaning electric vehicles, battery-powered devices, and those are gaining in popularity and will continue to gain popularity in the next 20 or 30 years.
Absolutely. What sector of the market are you guys involved in, if you could break that down for myself and the listeners?
Sure. What we do is we purchase mining concessions in different parts of the world. Specifically, now we're focused on Quebec and on graphite properties in that particular area. We've discovered a significant mineral property called La Lute in Quebec that's close to a major mine producer called Everett. And what we plan to do is drill into that property, which we've been doing for the last 2 seasons, and discover a resource and report that resource, so that we have a good confidence that we can extract it economically. So that's our main focus right now is announcing the nuts and bolts around that resource. That will give the banking community confidence in helping us develop the product and the project to the point where we can sell it.
Now, you guys own around 4 million shares of this Graphene 3D lab. What exactly do they do for you guys? What's the connection here? What's the common denominator for them to come in and help you guys out?
Yeah, graphite, if people don't know, is more than just pencil lead. Graphite is used in lubricants. It's used in different areas. And one of the end products that's the most exciting use for graphite, which is, it's just carbon, pure form of carbon. You can convert that graphite that's found in the ground to another carbon substance called graphene. And the structure of graphene is very interesting. It's a hexagon shape like a chicken wire, and that gives it super strength. So it's actually, once it's formulated and put into that form, it's 200 times stronger than steel. It's 1,000 times more conductive than copper, and it has flexibility. So you very versatile substance. And Graphene 3D Lab, the investment we made in them, they were able to take this material and put it into a filament and into a 3D printer to be able to print electronic objects in 3D. So instead of assembling a device like a flashlight or a battery, you can actually print the entire object all at once. So we thought this was an innovative company, and we've invested in it pre-IPO and in the first round in the IPO, and now it's worth about $10 or $11 million. It's just done a Fortune deal with a Fortune 500 company on R&D, and it's also amalgamated a company with it that has $1 million of revenue and 10,000 customers. So we think the sky's the limit for this company. It trades under the symbol GGG in Canada, and GPHBF in the U.S.
What other interesting developments do you guys have going to date right now that you might be able to talk about and tell the listeners?
Yeah. What we've done is we've really wanted to invest in areas in which we thought there was a really great opportunity for return. So beyond graphene, we've also invested in electronic products that will be part of the Internet of Things. So we'll be announcing our developments around our spider charger device and our LED power converters, which are for the electronics industry. So we've actually, separate and apart from our mining and our mining activities and our investing activities in graphene, we're actually going out to manufacture these products and talk to distributors and put them into stores so that they'll be available. The USB spider charger is essentially that. It's a USB connection that plugs into the side of your normal electrical socket and allows you to plug in 6 USB devices plus your 2 normal plugs without any of them being encumbered, and your wall and your house will be safe because it'll be safety tested. So these are the new smart home products that are coming out. We hope to support the internet connectivity of these devices and really get these new devices out in the market, because everyone knows when you go to plug in your phone somewhere, there's always someone else taking up the plug or using it. So we need to have more connections available and waste less power doing it. So it's a good green device, and we hope to get that out in the market.
Paul Gill is our guest today. He is the president and CEO of Lomiko Metals on the OTCQX, symbol LMRMF. Paul, if you can, tell us about the revenues from last year, maybe revenues that you guys project going in 2016, and what are the future plans for the company?
Yeah, essentially, we haven't hit revenues at this point with the electronic products. We hope to in the next year or so. We've got distributor deals and other elements coming on that front. What the next step is that our company, Graphene 3D, will be reporting revenue next quarter. It has $1 million worth of revenue that's coming in from its sale of graphene, and hopefully we'll be expanding upon that. So that'll boost our equity position.
And will those revenues, I'm sorry, but those revenues, will they fall on your balance sheet, or how will you claim that as an asset?
Yeah, no, they won't be our revenues. They're revenues related to our investment. Where we will see it is in the equity of the company progressing and expanding. So our investment will increase. On the asset side, what we're doing in mining is developing assets that groups will come and purchase. So we're making an investment of $5 million in Quebec on graphite properties that are absolutely needed for electric vehicle batteries and for other parts of the market. So once we develop that asset, we will then seek partners to help mine that asset, because there was a startup cost for the mining. So this small company may, in fact, do a larger transaction and really take off in the next little while.
In closing, is there anything that you'd like to talk about that we haven't talked about today, to tell myself and the listeners out there about Lomiko Metals and where you guys are headed for, and in closing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's take a look at the big picture here. We've got 9 billion people on this planet in the next little bit. We've got all of this people that are moving from rural areas into high density populations and starting to live like people in North America in middle class. They're going to need cars, they're going to need fridges, stoves, etc. All of these things are going to require graphite, copper, base resources. So the big picture is there in the background. We know the demands are on the resources there, so that's something that people should keep an eye out for. In addition to that, every generation there is a brand new innovation that changes the world. Look back and you'll see that the computers, mobile phones, the internet were all those massive changes. The last big change came with plastics for materials. So now graphene, I think, is going to be the newest plastic.
I agree.
New material is required that you can make anything with. There's 12,000 patents for this stuff. So that's something that people should think about and research.
Lomiko Metals, symbol LMRMF. It's on the OTCQX. CEO and President Paul Gill has been with us today. Paul, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was great catching up with you.
Thanks so much.